In San Marcos, Lydia Kendrick weaves together a garden of many levels. She can see it all on a deck made by her husband Larry, former chief of police who drowned in 1997 in San Marcos River's flooding waters. Since then, she's carried on the work they'd begun.
The backyard was nothing but rocks and dirt and undergrowth. You couldn't see from the upper deck to anywhere along the fence line, so we cleared it, and little by little it's changed over the years. The land literally just goes downhill from here.
That used to mean flooding at the bottom. With regrading, creative stonework, and a dry creek bed, standing water is no longer a problem. As Lydia reworked each area, she discovered how to unite them with the color she loves.
I learned to weave in 2009. I took some lessons up in Wimberley, and I've never looked back. I've really fallen in love with this free-form style of weaving, and I thought it would look beautiful outside. I have an enormous amount of yarn in my house, and I thought this is a great way to use that and be able to incorporate that in the garden. I've been told that Lydia will weave on anything that doesn't move, and with anything that's feasible to weave with, and that's probably a true statement. So I tend to collect things at garage sales that I can weave on, bed frames, I don't know, grills. There's a child's mattress frame on my upper deck that we wove on one year. They had it at a garage sale for a few bucks. I said, I don't want the mattress, I just want the metal frame.
Then she discovered plastic.
I had some friends collect newspaper sleeves for me in every color that was available, and I started weaving these panels with the plastic bags. They've lasted a lot longer. A lot of them have faded just as quickly from the sun, but they don't fall apart like the cotton and the other yarns that I've used outside.
Lydia also weaves together the community.
Each bring a piece of yarn or a piece of ribbon or anything that's that shape, a piece of rope, doesn't really matter, wire. And then I'll have a loom ready outside, a weaving frame. I'll put the strings on it, and then everybody will put their piece in there. At the end of this, you have a piece of art, that incorporates a little bit of every guest that was there.
At the bottom of the garden, she turned a former vegetable bed into her weaving garden, fragrant in spring with star jasmine and roses.
I wanted a place where the dogs couldn't go. That was just for me. I could go in there and sit and, meditate, or go in there and weave on the frame that's in there. And I thought while I was doing this, I would remember Larry in some way. And so I put a memorial in there. And I wanted roses, because that was his favorite flower.
Lydia strings prayer flags between destinations.
I weave prayer flags, too, and give them away. Mine are called a wish and a prayer flag. And instead of it coming with a particular wish or prayer, the person who gives it to somebody, that person can then say, okay, this is for a healthy baby, or this is for healing, or whatever. You fill in your own wish and prayer. The idea behind them is they carry the wishes and the good prayers with them as they fall apart, and birds carry off little pieces of them. So it's kind of a peace flag, I guess, if you will.
Lydia shares the garden with her rescued dogs. A boulder prompted a memorial to those she's lost.
I have cremated all my past dogs and have never known what to do with those. It upsets me to go near the urns, but I thought, the shape, I saw a paw print on the face of that rock. It just lends itself to that shape and form. And so I came out here a few weeks ago and painted the paw print on there, hung a little prayer flag that's especially for lost dogs who have passed, and decided this is going to be my pet cemetery. So now I know where to put those ashes. I think I'm finally ready, and I think it'll be a good place for that to happen.
She rescues objects as well, putting them to use in distinctive scenarios. She accents with pots that let her layer plant diversity.
I like the interest, the art form of stacking, arranging pots and statues. When you look at the Talavera pottery, I've tried to kind of stick with that because it's an ongoing theme. Some of the structures and the colorful pottery, I think, at least give you something else to look at besides just green. I had a woman make me some stepping stones, a local artist here in town, from stained glass, and that would go with those. So that's continuing that. And you can pull out any of the colors in that pottery and it just works.
When temperatures hit the 90s, she takes color to new heights with shade sails.
I put up probably 15 to 20 shade sails all together, and it takes me several days. I don't like to climb the ladder too much in one day, but I'll put up 2 or 3 at once and then kind of see how they look. And years ago, there was a lot more sun here, and the plants were smaller, so it was relatively easy to put them up and just attach them to whatever I could. Now it's a little more of a puzzle because I have to go over things. I have to kind of get them up higher and higher.
Little ponds soothe the heat and refresh wildlife.
Every one of these has fish in it, so that eliminates the mosquito problem as well.
Sensitive to water concerns, Lydia's conservative about that resource. She waters by hand with a hose in the hottest, driest times when rain doesn't fill her buckets.
I have about 1,000 gallons of rainwater on the property, and I don't have some really high-tech collection system. I put buckets or containers under every gutter on the house, and I just use that water. And we put mosquito dunks in there, mosquito torpedoes to keep that down because I know that can be a problem. I've tried to make it so that I have water where I need it around the garden, so I'm not bucketing from one corner all the way to the other, because July, August, I spend about 8 weeks bucketing all my plants with water.
From big-time views to tucked-in spots, Lydia's created discovery destinations right in her backyard.
I like that there are lots of little places to hide out and sit, and people have told me that. You know, you have a bench over here and look at it from here, and you can get amazing pictures from various corners of the yard and just sit and relax, you know, and see different things in every corner.